3.
Live on 3.
Actually, that one's not live. That one's just recording.
Oh, right. Facebook in 3, 2, 1. And live on Facebook.
And just a second. Just a second. Alrighty.
And the watch party. All right. Day 16. Good evening. I hope something's on. All right, there it goes. Sound off. Okay. Good evening, day 16 of Crazy Cabin Fever cocktails. And as I said, doing 2 of my cocktails this evening. We're going back and forth on doing the recipes on this. So I was looking through the stuff last night. And I was looking at the dry curacao, and I was like, I should do something with that. But I couldn't weave it into last night's. So today I was trying to figure out what to do with it. I was looking through our beverages, saw the cranberry, and I was like, oh, I could do some sort of a Bourbon Cosmo, which is going to be kind of interesting. And then it just kind of evolved into kind of the opposite of a Cosmo, if that's a thing. Because Cosmo is normally vodka, triple sec, lemon or lime juice, and cranberry. But this is dry curacao because it's going to be a drier drink because that's how I like it instead of that very sweet triple sec. And then I decided the other end of opposite from vodka was going to be a really heavy, big, highly flavorful bourbon. So I'm using Hartfield and Company bourbon for that. And so the whole thing is going to be very different. But it started in the same place, the same concept. And this also is going to be a great lesson in a little another little mnemonic for building cocktails. 2 parts spirit, 1 part sweet, 1 part strong, 2 parts weak. So I'm going to build this as a slight variant of a traditional Cosmo recipe in order to walk through that. And I'm also going to build this in the reverse order so that it fits with the little rhyme rather than how a bartender would build this. So going through that again, 2 parts spirit. So I'm going to use 2 ounces of my bourbon. And I'm going to stir this and present it in a coupe, because that's how I want to drink it. 2 parts spirit, 1 part sweet. We don't have actually a real strong sweet element. This is going to be the sweetest thing we have here. And I'm going to use 1 part of it, which is still going to actually make this a drier cocktail or a less sweet cocktail than most of them. So that's my 1 ounce there. 2 parts spirit, 1 part sweet, 1 part strong. So citrus is considered a strong flavor, so we're going to use less of it. So I'm using 1 ounce here. And then the cranberry is considered a weak. So I'm going to use 2 parts, so 2 ounces here. Now this is going to make one a sidecar or a little extra. But I wanted to work through that little poem in building this. And then this is not going to take much to integrate. You could shake this if you wanted to because you are having a citrus element, but I'm just going to stir it because it's a little bit easier right now. And I'll just construct very quickly, just like that. And as I said, I'm going to have a little bit left over because I did build a full 3 ounce volume, and the dilution is going to make it about 3.5. So I am just going to fill it up to there, and I think that's got kind of an interesting color on it as well. It's a little bit more, it's a reddish, yellowish kind of thing going on together, but I think it looks good.
That dry curacao does have a lot of sweetness to it. So if anybody thinks that just by the name dry curacao, it's not, it's sweeter than dry vermouth.
Right.
Let's just put it that way.
It absolutely is sweeter than dry vermouth. It's a dry curacao, which is normally very, very sweet, so your sweet is brought down, but it's still sweet. Can I try it?
Yep.
I like that. It's fruity, it's a little tart, it's a little sour, it's a little sweet. It definitely has some bourbon on it. Really enjoyable. Good stuff. Alright, so... Alright, so that's 1. So then I was still futzing around with my dry curacao. I was like, what else can I do with this? And I was looking at other stuff that I had, and I had this ginger liqueur, and we were trying to work this in for a little while, so finally I was like, alright, what can I do that's orange and ginger? You know what that is? That is the base flavors of Ale 8. I don't have any Ale 8, so I'm going to make my own. So I'm going to do an Ale 8 and bourbon once I bring in a little bit of the seltzer here. And this Ale 8 and bourbon is a really popular common cocktail. I think it's a little better with wheated bourbon, so this is why we're back to the Larceny again, because it's currently the only wheated bourbon that I have, I think. And this was put on the Winchell's menu over on Southland Drive with Maker's Mark and Ale 8 as a double wide cocktail, which I thought was funny for some reason. So this is a DIY double wide. And this is going to be a fairly easy one to put together. Now this is barrel strength, so I'm going to use half as much as I normally would use. I'm going to use 1 ounce.
If you were using a not barrel strength bourbon, you would maybe go ahead and use 2?
I use 1.5 to 2, depending on how much volume glass I have. This is a smaller glass, so maybe a 1.5. And then I'm going to do 3/4 of an ounce of each of these. I'm effectively making a soda syrup with these.
We'll basically do variations on this recipe.
Oh yeah.
For the barrel proof as well as for Ale 8.
If you have an Ale 8, just put your Ale 8 and your bourbon together, you're good.
Yep.
Okay, so there's that. I'm going to give this a stir to integrate those. This is not difficult to get to mix together. I am moving the spoon up and down a little bit because the sugar wants to sit on top. I should have actually built it in the other order, but I was just excited about using the Larceny. And then my seltzer, hopefully my seltzer is still in good shape.
Do you need to?
Just double check it, just to be safe. They have broken a glass doing this before. Got nice bubbles on that. Now I'm going to give it another stir so that my alcoholic soda syrup is going to integrate. I don't want to lose my bubbles too much, so I'm going to stop it at that point. Doesn't that look pretty? All the bubbles moving around, a little bit of foam on top. Oh gosh, yes. That is a beautiful, just sweet enough, orange, ginger, bourbon, all the flavors come through very distinctly. A great refreshing drink on a hot day. Not that we're going to have any of those for a little while, but when we're back into hot days, that's a good one for that too.
Definitely really, really good.
Yeah, so good. And obviously if you have LA, just use LA. So there you go. So there is my Bourbon Cosmo and my DIY double wide, and that is our cocktails for this Monday.
And if you want a mocktail, clearly the obvious easy one is an Ale 8.
Just drink Ale 8. So that's how it works. Alrighty, and then we got a couple more days of ideas in place. If you have any ideas, stuff in your pantry, stuff you want to see us try to work into a cocktail, please be sure to let us know.
And as always, we'll put recipes on the Distilled Living website, probably here in the next hour, half hour, and get a high quality version online in case Facebook is glitching out on audio or video, since it has done that a bit in the last week.
Yep.
So,
all right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Cheers. That's really, really good.